to Incoming. In this show I take a look back at the week's historical miniature releases and pick my favourites. This is episode 9, looking at the releases for week ending June 26th, 2009, and as always I'm your host Neil Shuck. Lots more releases to get through this week, so again we have a top 10. And straight in at number 10 this week is a completely new company for me, and that's Galloping Major Wargames. They're currently releasing their first line of miniatures, which happens to be a range of miniatures for the French India War. This week they've released some Canadian militia. As you can see, they've not only released a good variety of poses, but they look pretty nice, especially painted up as well. If French Indian War is your period, I think this is a new company worth keeping an eye on. At number 9, we have the first of a couple of releases this week from JTFM Enterprises. This vehicle, of course, is fairly unmistakable, being the Elephant, German armoured vehicle that saw limited use in World War II, primarily involved in Operation Citadel and also during the last defence of Berlin. But this is a really nice looking kit and vehicle from JTFM, 156 scale, so it's nicely scaled for your 28mm miniatures. So definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of German armour. Sticking with vehicles at number 8, we have a brand new release from Britannia Miniatures, their 20mm range. And this continues with some of their modern vehicle releases. This is a Mastiff, currently used by British forces in Afghanistan. Another excellent resin cast vehicle from Britannia. Another very useful addition to their range. Britannia resins are always nicely sculpted and moulded, very clean castings, so again, if you're into modern gaming, this is well worth checking out. Number 7 this week we have some more figures in Gripping Beasts Polmarch Successors range. Several new command packs of Thury Ufuri, Seleucid and Makimoy forces. Apologies if I've completely butchered those names. Gripping Beast Ancients are always nicely sculpted and cast, so they're worth checking out, although it has to be said these particular figures do seem to be kind of variations on a theme when it comes to pose. But the Successors range from Gripping Beast looks very interesting. Sticking with the Ancients theme, number 6 this week is actually a re-release. These are Early Spartans, and when I say it's a re-release, this is by a company I wasn't previously aware of called Gorgon Studios, but they've released Steve Saller's range of, say, Early Spartans, which were originally released by Artisan Games. A fair selection of packs available, 12 in all, including Spearmen, Archers, Slingers and Command packs. I'm always a bit of a sucker for figures in this particular period, and these are no different. They look great, and I'm especially impressed with the Command packs. They're very much full of character. This week's top 5 starts with a couple of vehicles, and first up is probably one of my favourite tanks, and that's the Panzer III. This again is by JFTM Enterprises, and it's the Panzer III J1 version, again in 156 scale. And although there are lots of versions of this tank around, this is just a really nice looking model. I love German armoured fighting vehicles from World War II, and if they're as nicely sculpted and detailed as this, then they're always going to feature highly in any of my top 10 for any particular week. Great stuff. And staying with the vehicle theme again, at number 4 we have another new release from HRBS. They're releasing a lot of Russian vehicles. Richard Kurt's actually being pretty prolific at the moment as far as this is concerned. We're seeing releases almost every week. This again is an addition to his modern Russian vehicles, and this is an ACRV, or Artillery Command Reconnaissance Vehicle, in 148 scale, and this is quite a big kit, 15 centimeters long, 6 centimeters wide. Another hugely impressively sculpted vehicle from HRBS. These vehicles were used as like ad hoc APCs, so they fit in very nicely with HRBS's other Russian releases. And yeah, it's another great sculpt, well detailed, good clean lines. What more can you say, really? Really good stuff. Looking at what they're releasing at the moment, this could get very expensive very quickly, I think. Okay, into my top 3, and a complete change in scales from 1/48 right down to 6mm. A new release from Bacchus. Haven't seen anything from them for a while, and it's nice to see they're actually doing a completely new range. This is a range called Risorgimento, which I must admit is not an area of conflict I was previously aware of, so it'd be interesting to see what comes out. But here we have some Austrians and some Italian infantry. And you can always count on backers to release high quality sculpts in 6mm, and this is something really different from Pete. So again, looking forward to some future releases with him, but these looking quite interesting so far. Back to moderns at my number 2, and this is a new release again from Eureka as part of their modern range. These are some of their modern Afghan tribesmen, and these look superb. Come in a pack of 15, and here you just see some examples of what's available. And as I said, these just look great, don't they? Really well detailed, fantastic poses. And I'm very, very impressed with these particular figures. So well worth checking these out from Eureka. I believe they're released at Origins. And in any other week, these would probably be my number 1. But at number 1, well, I really like horse archers. And so the new releases from Kurasan Miniatures had to be my number 1 this week. More in their 15mm Ancients range. These are Huns, and these are just stunning. Beautifully sculpted and detailed. And that's obviously from the way they've been picked out in these painted pictures here. Fantastic figures. One of those ranges that as soon as you see it, it almost sells itself, really. Excellent stuff from Kurasan. Definitely my favourites of this week. Well, that brings to the end of the show. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've seen something you like. Many thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again next week. Take care until then. Bye bye.